So a lot of the times in rebuilds, we may not get to every single prospect that we developed, or a lot of the time you guys are like, continue this rebuild. I want to see what happens in a few more seasons with the team, or we just fell short of a World Series and you want to see if we could win it with the team. And I kind of like that idea. I kind of like it kind of being a part two, but more of just like revisiting, maybe simming a couple more seasons, maybe adding on to the rebuild and seeing what we can do with some of the teams that, you know, we've already rebuilt. So today we're going to be revisiting the Blue Jays rebuild. It was the second rebuild that I did on MLB The Show. If you guys did miss it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link to it in the top corner. Go and give it a watch. And this will be just another way to kind of revisit some of the old rebuilds that we've done, but also it'll give us a chance to kind of just have some fun, do something that's a little bit different than the normal rebuild, because it's kind of like adding on rather than just starting a brand new rebuild with a different team. So here we go, revisiting the Blue Jays. If you do enjoy it, make sure you hit that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and enjoyed the content. And as always, get in the comment section and let me know some of the other rebuilds I've done. Which one would you like to see revisited next? If you guys haven't followed all of my social media, they're down in the description below. Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, also my Twitch. We've been streaming almost every night, just hanging out, playing some franchise, playing some Diamond Dynasty. So if you just want to come hang out, go follow that Twitch down below, and it'll notify you whenever I do go live. So without any further ado, let's get back into this Blue Jay franchise. Let's refresh my memory. Let's refresh your memory. Let's get into this. So it's been almost a month since I've looked at this save, so I really don't remember what happened. So let's take a look. Let's see. So we're coming off a World Series victory against the Rockies, and let's see what our team's looking like. So pitching rotation, we got Syndergaard, okay. Kyle Hendricks, I think he was kind of close to the end of his contract, right? Yeah, one more year. Had a pretty decent year. We got Joe Musgrove, who obviously is always a glitch in franchise, one of my favorite pickups. And then we had Nate Pearson, who I think this was his first year, right? And had a great season, so love to see that. Obviously, Alex Manoa is another player that we brought up from the farm system as well. Obviously part of the Blue Jays organization. But we had Zach Godley be our long reliever. We had Manuel Moya, which I'm pretty sure was a guy that we drafted in one of the first couple seasons. We had Tim Hill, Sean Doolittle, Daniel Santana, which again looks like another player that we drafted who looks unbelievable. Seth Lugo, who pretty decent year as well. And then Ken Giles obviously has been with us this entire time. Had one bad year, but for the most part looks pretty solid. When we look at our lineup, let's take a look at our bench. We got Mark Canha, who I think finally kind of like tailed off this year, but last year was decent for us. We got Billy McKinney, who I really wanted to succeed, but you know, he had 2 good years in limited appearances, and then this year he kind of fell off. So I don't know if he'll ever get into the team, but he's actually a decent bench bat for us. Louis Plummer, I think, was a guy that we found in free agency, or maybe even drafted. I can't remember, but I think it was free agency. But you know, been a decent bench bat for us. You know, good platoon option to have for the middle infield spots. Sandy Leon, I know, was definitely a backup. And then we had Rowdy Tellez, who, you know, like, meh. When we look at Bichette, I know he's definitely starting to pop off. He's been pretty solid. Had a quiet year this year, but last year was really good. We had Vlad Jr., who in the postseason didn't look like he had a great year, but during the season, phenomenal. Brian Reynolds as well. Not too sure why Vlad's not in the 3 spot, but Brian Reynolds, again, was a great pickup for us. I'm about to hit arbitration, so we still have him for a few seasons. Matt Olson was unbelievable, even though he had a 245 average. I mean, the on-base percentage, slugging, and OPS are still pretty nice. When we look at Lourdes Gurriel, he's been unbelievable for us as well. Actually, he's been okay. Like, the OPS is a little, like, it's sitting around 800, you know, 750, 800. Would like to see a little bit better now that I look at it. I know Michael Franco was more of a platoon option for us this year, even though he got quite a few games as a DH. Randall Grichuk has actually been decent. Like, the OPS and like the average may be a little low, but you know, 26 plus home runs every single season we've done this. Unbelievable. Kevin Biggio was one of those players that I just wasn't 100% sure about. Like, he's been good OPS, sitting above 800, you know, around a 260, 270 average. But he was just one of those players I felt like could do a little bit more. And then we had our boy Danny, who has been one of those players where sometimes he's been good, sometimes he hasn't. So I know we had a couple good prospects coming through the system in Miguel Jurado, who's already part of the Blue Jays organization, along with Gabriel Moreno and Orelvis Martinez. But we had Ray Santiago, which I think was like our first season draft pick, who I was waiting so long to try to get involved, and we just couldn't. Really good fielder, really good reactions. The arm is what's holding him back. I definitely think he's more of a second baseman, but good contact as well, vision and discipline. he was a guy that I was looking to possibly replace Biggio with. So if that's who was going to be replaced, it probably would be Biggio. So let's continue this rebuild. Let's go like 2 or 3 seasons, see what we can do with this team. Obviously, we're coming off a World Series victory, so we're gonna have to figure out what we want to do. How could we get even better with this squad? And let's just keep moving forward. I'm kind of, you know, this is kind of like a fun way to go back and just revisit some of these rebuilds, refresh the memory, try to like remember some of the good players we had, or just kind of look at some of the good teams that we built, just to kind of get a different idea. So Seth Lugo's 33, and I feel like we could probably get someone that's similar for about the same amount of money or cheaper, and doesn't want to be a closer, because we already have some really good closer. Joe Musgrove. Let's take a look at our pitching, because I guess we didn't really take a look at our pitching prospects. Like we have a couple. Ooh, this guy actually might be a good 5. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, 5. Obviously we have Musgrove there, who was fantastic, right? Like he was outstanding. We could use Musgrove in the 2, trade Hendricks, go Pearson, Manoa, Musgrove, Syndergaard, and then let Zach Logue be that 5th starter. I think that'd be a good option as well. So maybe that's something that we look to do. But I'll bring Musgrove back for like 2 years. Give him a player option if he wants it. Actually, 15 million. We could just let Hendricks finish his contract and let Musgrove go. That might be something I look to do. And I'll let the rest of the guys go. I'm gonna do some staff really quick. Looking at arbitration, I'm gonna offer it to everybody here. They're all part of this, like the major league squad, so there's no point in letting them go. And when we look at our contracts, definitely want to bring back Moya. He looks like he's going to be a great bullpen arm for us. Same with Daniel Santana. Nate Pearson, obviously one of those top prospects who's finally in the MLB squad. Ray Santiago, I think might be our new second baseman. We might see what we could do. Zach Logue, obviously, is going to be our new 5. Manoa's in the lineup. So I definitely want to make sure we add all of these guys to the team. And then when we look at the squad, like I said, I'm going to move Logue into the 5 spot. Might let this be our starting rotation. It looks like we need a couple bullpen arms, which, you know, those are easy to pick up for sure through trade. And really the only change is we might keep Grichuk, or I know Kevin Biggio has also played in the outfield a little bit. We could move Kevin Biggio to the outfield, let Ray Santiago be that second baseman, and then we'd be set with the lineup, because like this team is really good. And I'm kind of excited to see what else we could do with it. So that might be the move. I might let Ray Santiago be the second baseman, move Biggio to the outfield. And even though Grichuk has been, or we could make Grichuk the DH and then let Biggio be the right fielder. And that could be the move going forward. So we'll see what we do with the team. I like it. I think it's in a really good spot. Something I need to point out is this was like the original default rosters. And so some players are missing, and also some of the ratings are different, positions are different. But I wanted to go through each team and kind of see like their lineups are looking like, because it's been a couple seasons and I don't really know what's going on. So we'll take a look at each team. Mondesi, LeMahieu, Joey Gallo on the White Sox. Okay. Byron Buxton on the Indians, along with any other new ones. Jonathan Scope's new. We got G-Man on the Tigers, along with Carlos Santana. Max Kepler on the Royals is a new one. Okay, so there's some interesting new moves. Tommy Pham on the Athletics. Oh, some of the prospects for the Mariners have come up. They also had Adley Rutschman. All right. And Soler on the Astros. Who else? Eloy Jimenez on the Braves. Ooh, okay. And then looking at some of these other players. Who's this? Daniel Borbon. He looks insane. Holy cow. Not the best of fielders, but still looks really good. So as we go through the rest of them, you guys can see the rest of the teams. They got Gregory Polanco in center field. That's interesting. The Phillies team looks like really good. Actually pretty good. Lindor is obviously replacing Baez at short for the Cubs. And looking at the rest of the teams, we'll definitely kind of start picking up the pace, kind of going through them. So you guys can pause at any time if you need to look at the squads. But the Pirates got a young team. Vaughn, they got Brian Hayes, O'Neal Cruz starting. Okay. Looking at the rest of the teams, Baez is now in the Diamondbacks. So they have Verdugo, Sano as well. Nomar Mazara. Looking at the Rockies, a couple new faces there. Yelich. Okay. Who else? Some new changes here and there. But for the most part, I feel like most of the teams are kind of the same. I mean, this is a big change. Conforto, Marte, and Whit Merrifield, along with Aaron Judge on the Red Sox. Jeez, what a team. What a team. Obviously the Yankees are there as well. So we've gone through every one of those. You guys can see the teams there. We'll go through the pitching staff pretty quickly, and just so you guys can see some of the changes here. I'm going to quickly kind of go through them just to see if I can quickly glance and see anything that stands out that's different. As I said, quickly, like 47 times in that span of sentence and that like couple sentences there. Nola's there. Jose Barrios on the Athletics as well with Nola. That's a pretty good rotation. You got Kershaw with the Astros. The Marlins is looking nice. Alcantara, Lopez, Yamamoto, Ureña's even up to an 85. Okay. The Nationals is looking good with Sevy. The Mets looks good. I mean, some of these rotations are looking pretty nice. Even the bullpens are looking good from time to time. The Pirates not so much, but you guys can see some of the other ones that we're looking at. I mean, there's some good rotations. So we're definitely in, we're going to have to do some work to make sure that we can stay competitive with the rest of the teams. And as you guys can see, we're getting near the end of it. I mean, even the Red Sox bullpen and rotation is looking pretty strong for how strong their lineup was. So there it is. There's the rest of the teams. Make sure I can keep my controller charged. And you guys can probably see what we're kind of rocking with here. I'm going to bring up Godley to be our long reliever. I'm going to trade Waguespack. And then we're going to kind of rock like this for the squad. I'm thinking of trading Will Harris. We brought him in on a 1-year deal, but I'm going to try to trade him for a different bullpen arm. And then when we look at like our lineup and stuff, this is what we're looking like. Not much has changed. I do want to bring up Ray Santiago. Our farm system is a little scarce on the players, so I will probably have to bring in a couple players. But that's the team. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make Ray Santiago a shortstop, or not a shortstop anymore, but I'm going to make him a second baseman just because his arm just isn't there to be a shortstop, but we'll still keep him like secondaries there. And then what I want to do is I want to bring him up and we'll rock like that. So this is going to be the team here. 81 now for Ray Santiago, and I feel like he kind of fits in that spot at second. Like I said, we're going to move Biggio to right, and then our DH is going to be Grichuk. He's been a really good offensive threat anyways, so might as well keep him in the lineup. And this is what we'll rock with for the lineup. These will be our bench bats. Let's go make some pitching changes. So the first one's going to be Waguespack for Taylor Williams. Had a pretty good couple years. Only 12 innings here and only 34 innings here. But it looks like he was the closer for the Seattle Mariners and did quite a good job. So he's going to be in the middle part of the bullpen. And I feel like at 83 overall, not a bad little pickup for us. All right, so Will Harris, I guess I signed him like at a certain point where teams don't want to trade for him, or he's just at a point where no one wants to trade for him. I'm just going to let him sit in the minors. We don't need him. When you look at our bullpen now, it looks really good. Zach Godley is a player I do worry about since he really hasn't done fantastic. And I don't want to call up Pardino or Hag just yet. So I'm going to leave it there. We're going to see how it goes. I think Godley's contract runs out after this year anyways. So one season won't kill us. It might, but who knows. And then we're going to rock with the normal rotation here. And Logue is the new addition. Looking at our actual lineup, I mean, it looks good. Plummer as a good backup for the middle infield. We got McKinney, Rowdy Tellez, and then Sandy Leon. Ray Santiago is going to be like our platoon second baseman. And then Biggio will move back to second base when we don't have a DH, and then Grichuk will move to right field. But for the most part, this is what I'm looking like. Obviously, I don't want Vlad leading off. That would be a bad, probably a really bad scenario. But yeah, this is the team. I think it looks really good. I think we have a really solid team. Budget-wise, we are a little tight. But again, Hendricks is going to be leaving us, and then a couple players are going to be leaving us as well. Maybe Matt Olson, we'll see. Lourdes Gurriel. So it's gonna be an interesting way to see how we handle this budget scenario after this year. So we're ranked 5th in baseball. You guys can see everything there. Let's get to it. Let's see how this 4th season handles with this revisit of the Blue Jays rebuild. So we just hit September. Things look like they'd be going pretty well, but after seeing those Red Sox and Yankees squads, I don't know. It's gonna be a tough one. We're at 80 wins. And obviously getting into the 90 win mark would be huge, especially for the wild card spot. But if we don't hit it, I don't think we're making the postseason. And we didn't. 90 wins and 72 losses. So I wonder what happened. We were 24 games behind the Yankees. Even the Rays were ahead of us. And we were ahead of the Red Sox, which is crazy to think about. And in the wild card, we were 4 games back. That's a tough way to start this revisit. So let's take a look at some of the league leaders. Shoutouts for Syndergaard, but looking at some of the teams that we were going to be coming up against, I think we definitely need to step it up. We're definitely going to have to make some changes, really bolster the pitching. That's what I feel like that's going to be the thing that's holding us back, is the pitching. So as we go through this, we'll see some of the pitching stats. So Syndergaard's up there, but that's about it. Nobody for losses, which is kind of tough. Saves, we do have Ken Giles up there, but I definitely think we're going to need to bolster that pitching. I feel like that's going to be the area. So we got 2 Gold Gloves, which is good to see. Jordan and Trevor Bauer. Cy Young, DeGarrett Cole and Trevor Bauer. Ketel Marte had the batting title, along with Wilson Contreras. Stevenson and Rosenthal were relievers of the year. And then we have Tristan Lutz and Andrew Vaughn as Rookie of the Year. So, okay. All right, let's take a look at our team, see how things went. Like I said, Zach Godley, 4 ERA, kind of what I expected. Manuel Moya is up to an 87. Okay. Talk up. He threw 100 innings, had 96 strikeouts. Okay, that's a good year. The whip is still a little high, but he's still putting up really good numbers. Tim Hill is about to hit free agency. Didn't really pan out, so that's fine. Taylor Williams, you know, after having 3 good seasons, he finally kind of fell off a bit. The whip's a little bit high, but we'll see what we can do with that going forward. Taylor Rogers, I gave him an $8 million contract for the next 3 years. To be honest, we might have to get rid of that. It's kind of a big contract, and we do have quite a few contracts expiring or about to like hit the point where they're going to become really high. So this might be a player that we have to get rid of. Daniel Santana looks like he's going to be unbelievable. He's just really good. I mean, that's basically where I have to leave it. And then obviously Ken Giles is doing pretty well. And I mean, to be honest, we could probably rid of Rogers and Giles, get players who are just as good on low contracts, and let Santana and possibly Moya be the setup/closer. Noah Syndergaard, we locked him up for quite some time. He's still pitching quite well. Alex Manoa, man, I'm going to need that to turn around hopefully soon. Kyle Hendricks, where's Nate Pearson? Okay, there he is. Kyle Hendricks, all right, so definitely a player that we need to move on from. Nate Pearson isn't even like putting up numbers that I would have hoped. The whip is just too high. And then Logue. So yeah, definitely the starting rotation is an area where we need to spend a little bit of money. Not too much, but at least a little bit to at least get it to the point where it's competitive. When we look at our bench, it was all right. Nothing too crazy. Obviously, they're going to be bench bats, limited appearances, so it's going to be tough to get some good results out of them. When we look at Brian Reynolds, 911 OPS, 309 average. As a leadoff hitter, that's what you want to see. Almost a 400 on base percentage. Bo Bichette put up fantastic numbers. Almost a 400 on base percentage, almost an 1,000 OPS, 305 average, 36 home runs, 38 doubles. Vlad Jr. putting up really similar numbers, so you love to see that. When we look at Matt Olson, he's putting up really good home run numbers. The OPS is good as well, 105 RBIs. Yes. Randall Grichuk as a DH type option. I mean, still putting up good numbers. Yeah, the OPS may be under 100, but 100 RBIs, 28 home runs, and 36 doubles. I'm fine with that. Lourdes Gurriel, he's going to hit arbitration, so we at least have him for 1 more year. But maybe we trade him. You know, as much as I like the fact that he's versatile, he actually brings a good bat to the team. But maybe just to like think in advance, maybe we trade him before we have to pay him big money and see if we can get a cheaper outfielder. Kevin Biggio is getting better, which is great to see, especially since I'm thinking of possibly getting rid of Randall Grichuk's contract. Even though he's putting up good numbers, $10 million is quite a bit. And like I said, we might have to pay Matt Olson, Vlad Jr., Bichette, and all that stuff. So maybe getting rid of Grichuk and Gurriel early, trying to get some younger players to replace them might be the move. Ray Santiago in his rookie season had quite the year. The OPS is a little low. The slugging isn't fantastic, but you know what? These are good numbers to build off of, right? And then Danny Jansen was, it was all right. So we definitely have some players to look forward to in the future. Orelvis Martinez, again, is coming up. We got Miguel Jurado, who looks really good, but fielding is definitely carrying that rating. And then Gabriel Moreno, again, getting carried by that fielding rating, but still not terrible. So no postseason for us. Let's go from there. Let's see what we can do with this team. The Cubs defeat the Yankees, and as we move forward, let's see what we do with this team. So there we go. Get past that. Nobody that we were using retired. And then looking at exclusive negotiations, Matt Olson is definitely up. Do I want to pay Matt Olson? Is he someone that I want to keep at first? I mean, that run production is definitely something I want. So let's go like this. Let's bump this down a little bit, but we'll do that. Backloaded contract. We'll even bump it up to 3. and see if we can go from there. We'll let the rest walk, and then let's move forward. So boom, let's see if he accepted that contract. He did, and our team's still looking really good. I'm gonna trade Randall Grichuk because I want to open up a little bit more money before we start moving into free agency. All right, so the deal we're gonna do is for Joey Lucchese. The only other deal that I looked at was Randall Grichuk and Taylor Rogers for Emilio Pagan, which I thought that was just a little bit too much for a bullpen arm. So I figured let's go Elvis Luciano, Ken Giles, and Grichuk for Joey Lucchese, because that also opens up a lot of salary for us, around 12-11 million. So let's go with that deal. So that basically solidifies the starting rotation. Now we just need a long reliever, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Santana there. We're going to put Moya in this. Actually, we'll put Rogers there. We'll leave Moya out just for now. So we just need one bolt, or we're going to lose Tim Hill as well. So we need one bolt or two bullpen arms, a long reliever, and then we need to kind of figure out maybe a DH, which isn't that hard to find. So not too much money will be spent. It's mostly trying to keep the core players and see what we can do. So when we look at arbitration, this is where the money's going to be spent. Again, another player I'm looking at possibly trading is Lourdes Gurriel, just because I feel like his time might be at the point where we don't want to spend big money on him. Probably should get something in return. And then Tim Hill is not going to be re-signed, but the rest probably will. And then contracts we're going to offer to everybody here. There's no point. I also want to get this guy involved. He might actually be our long reliever. I mean, his per nines don't look terrible. Maybe just make him our long reliever, and then I'll make sure everybody that we need to is added to the 40-man. And free agency wise, I mean, like Cody Bellinger would be great to have. Obviously, some of these guys as our ace would be fantastic, but again, we're going to be spending a lot of money on Vlad, Bichette, Biggio. So like, I don't know if we can afford to bring in another big name ace. So let's bring in what we need and try to find them on some really low contracts, and then we can go from there. So I'm still in the off season before we head into like the second season of the revisit. So this would be what, season 5 now. And I was looking for new relievers, and the Orioles actually have this really good reliever, Billy Craig. High hits per 9, Ks per 9, the walks per 9 is almost at 70. So really good stats. And I'm like, okay, we need a bullpen arm anyways. So I was like, okay, let's get rid of Benny Gagnon, whatever it is. We're not going to use him because we have so many like younger relievers anyways. And on top of that, we have a shortstop prospect who we have Louis Plummer and Bichette ahead of him. So I'm cool trading him for this guy. And I was like, maybe we get a bench bat out of the deal, and we could go like Lugbauer. We could go, I don't think we can get Jahmai Jones, but like we can go Colton Welker if we add somebody. But Colton Welker wants to be an everyday guy, and I don't think we can promise him those type of like days or those type of at bats. And then like I was looking at other guys that they have on the team. This guy looks kind of good, but we don't really need another outfielder. Again, this guy looks really good, but he's a little bit out of our range of trying to get him, even though he actually looks like he'd be a really good bat for us. He had 270 last year with 11 home runs, 10 triples, and 45 doubles. But again, you know, I don't know if we really need him. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get this guy. He's going to be a bench bat, right? He's not going to be like crazy good or anything, but it's basically the same salary. It gives us something in return. I'm pretty happy with it. All right, so I'm looking at our team. We definitely made some additions to it, and I think some of the guys that we picked up were actually really good. So we're gonna look at the starting rotation. Obviously, Joey Lucchese is gonna hop in there, but we still have Pearson, Manoa, Syndergaard, and Logue. Obviously, all of them are improving, so that's really good. We're gonna let Woods Richardson be our long reliever. I brought in Jacob Barnes from the Rule 5 draft. I'm not 100% sold on him. His per 9s are actually pretty decent though, so we'll wait and see. Obviously, Billy Craig from the Orioles, he looks pretty good as well. And then the rest of the guys are, you know, former bullpen arms already. Our budget's still pretty healthy at $1 million, which is good to see. And then you can see our bench is kind of the same. Gabriel Moreno looks like he's going to be our starting catcher. And then this guy, Geraldo Murillo, looks unbelievable. And we got him out of the Rule 5 draft. I'll even show you in roster history. You go Rule 5 draft, Murillo's there. So he actually looks really good, and that's why I didn't take that Orioles outfielder that I mentioned, because we had this guy already from the Rule 5 draft. Do we trade Lourdes Gurriel for a better pitcher, right? And that's kind of where I'm at, because we have Murillo who could start every single day, and as good as Gurriel is, it might be time to move on from him, just kind of focus on who we have And let's take a look at budget just so we can get an idea. So arbitration for 1 more year, arbitration for 1 more year, arbitration for 1 more year. I mean, that might be the move. Just trade Gurriel and let's see if we can get a really good pitcher. Like, I like our starting rotation, but I feel like it could be better. And I don't know if any of these guys are going to be good enough by next season. So, ooh, do we get rid of Logue? I mean, we just signed him for a long-term deal, but maybe that's the move. Logue and Gurriel for somebody. Let's see what we can find. All right, so this is the trade. We're going to go Rowdy Tellez, Zach Logue, and Lourdes Gurriel for a guy that you guys tell me to get so much, Brandon Woodruff. And I can see why you guys want me to get him. He's been unbelievable throughout this rebuild. The thing is, his contract does run out at the end of the year, and I looked at a lot of other pitching options that we could go after, and they all kind of are in the same situation or a similar situation. So all contracts run out soon, or they're like this where it's like 10 million or more for a long-term deal. So we're gonna go with Woodruff. We're gonna see what the hype's about, and let's I think we're gonna actually, I can't continue it now because I'm actually gonna 100% need a bench bat. So I think I'm gonna go like that. And then obviously the bullpen's a little iffy, but yeah, we definitely need a bench bat. And who could that be? Let's go find a bench bat, I guess. So the 2 bats I brought in were Carlos Santana and Luis Garcia. They're not going to play much, so that's why I kind of brought them in. And this is what the team is looking like. I think we're going to go like this. I like it. I definitely do. Ooh, we might actually move Biggio up since he has a little bit of power versus righties. And then for DH versus lefties, Louis Plummer. So we're going to move him up a little bit because he's got 91 power versus lefties. So let's take a look, see where we're ranked as a team. We're first in baseball. Yeah, the speed and defense, we're not going to worry about that. We're just going to put up more runs than everybody else, and that's all that's going to matter. Let's get into the second season, see how it goes. So we're in September again, and we're going to have another good final month of the season. We're doing a little bit better. We're expected to win more than 90 games, but again, I feel like the team's underperforming, which is a little disappointing to see. I see a couple starters in the 5 ERAs, which is worrying. But 101 wins, 61 losses. We win the division, taking on the winner of the wild card. So here we go. Let's take a look. League leaders: Murillo with stolen bases and WAR for Vlad, and then Santana and Syndergaard for some pitching stats. So here we go. Let's take a look at some of these league leaders. And I feel like the team's really good, but for the most part, it seems like we're underperforming, or maybe just the pitching is what's holding us back, because I'm seeing some league leaders for offensive categories that are popping up, but maybe it's just like pitching. But Syndergaard, Pearson, Lucchese's on the board there. Obviously some low losses as well. Saves, we had our like unbelievable closer who's just insane, but like it just seems like something's not clicking, right? So we got a Gold Glove, and we had Delivery Man of the Year. Yordan Alvarez is still just unbelievable, as he usually is. Eloy Jimenez, Dinelson Lamet, and Garrett Cole were Cy Young. Moncada and Tatis are batting title. Reliever of the Year was Yohan Lopez, as well as Daniel Santana. And then Rookie of the Year, Tristan Casas and Drew Evans. So, all right. Let's take a look at the pitching staff. So, Simeon Woods Richardson, 4 ERA, 1.45 whip. The whip's a little high, definitely. The whip's a little high, but we can work around that. Taylor Williams was actually pretty solid, so a bounce back year for him. Lowered that whip, that ERA in more innings pitched as well. Billy Craig, great pickup from the Orioles. And I realized I traded within the division. By the time I already accepted the trade, I realized what I did. So, but really good season. Definitely a good pickup for us. Jacob Barnes wasn't who I would have hoped he would have been. I was kind of hoping for at least like a low 4, maybe even like a 1.3 whip. Just a little bit too high for me. Manuel Moya had his first rough season since entering the bigs, but I definitely expect him to only get better. And then Taylor Rogers was a really solid setup guy, which is what we want him to be. And then our reliever of the year is just probably one of the best relievers I've ever had, one of the best closers, whatever you want to call it. This guy is really good. When we look at our starting rotation, Noah Syndergaard, really solid season. Brandon Woodruff didn't live up to the hype, guys. That's disappointing. Was it a bad season? Not really. You know, the whip's still around 1.2, 1.3. The ERA is a little high, but it's okay. And then Joey Lucchese, great pickup this offseason. We had Nate Pearson, who finally had a good year. Actually, his first year wasn't bad, so he's back to form, I would say. And Manoa is just a little bit high. He's got per 9s that would make him think he'd be really good, but unfortunately just not living up to the hype. We still got these two guys here, which if I were to pick one, I would probably go with Hag to come up, but I just don't feel like either of them are really ready. So looking at our team, you know, the bench bats were actually pretty solid for the most part. When we take a look at our starting lineup, Bryan Reynolds is somehow just getting better as he gets older. You know, the home runs have gone up, the OPS, the average on base percentage, everything's gone up, really. Bichette, 274, 824 OPS. So yeah, maybe he's not going to hit 36 home runs every season, but he's still putting up really good numbers. Vlad Jr., let's see what we got here. 34 home runs, 111 RBIs. I mean, he's just putting up really good numbers as usual. Matt Olson's kind of fallen off. Not as good as what he normally would do. Even the OPS dropped, which is a little worrying considering we just paid him a little bit. Let's see. Biggio, a little bit of a quiet season too. So maybe the offense was what let us down a little bit. Like Louis Plummer, even he was a little bit quiet. Oh, actually the power numbers went up. More at bats as well though. So he played in quite a few games. Just the OPS is a little low. 733, not what I'm looking for. Murillo, rookie season. How is this not rookie of the year? 45 doubles, 15 home runs, 6 triples, 83 RBIs, 84 walks. That's a good amount of walks. 35 stolen bases. Yeah, he got caught 14 times, but his on base percentage was 383, 471 slugging, 854 OPS. That's a good season. How is that not rookie of the year material? Ray Santiago hit 253. Pretty similar, like almost identical to what he did last year. And Moreno, and in his first full season, did quite well. So, we made the postseason, so that's good, right? I just feel like some players kind of went a little quiet, a little bit of a underperformance on their part. But let's take on the Angels, see what we can do here. And we're about to get eliminated maybe by, you know who, the wild card team. Always happens. But we're going to be home for this game. And let's go Syndergaard. I don't know, something about Manoa just doesn't give me a lot of confidence. They have Erickson, Vizcaino, who are probably, what, 2 prospects? Trout, Gary Sanchez, Rendon, Castellanos. So, like, that heart of the lineup looks nice. But not too sure who a lot of their players are. Andrew Heaney's on the mound for them, so I'm hoping we can get to him. But we don't have a hit this game, so that's not the best of starts. And bases clearing double by Ryan McMahon. Really. And Louis Plummer gets on the board for us, but we're still down 2 runs, and I feel like we should definitely be in a better situation. Probably shouldn't have stole there, but especially since Bryan Reynolds would have brought him in. But with the speed and the fact that that guy led the league in stolen bases, I thought maybe, just maybe, we would have been okay. There we go. Ray Santiago brings us within 1. Double play. That was, that hurts. Let's go Trevor Williams. Perfect. 1, 2, 3 inning. Can we get anything going, man? It's tough. All right, we have 2 more innings. Can we do something here? That's a good start. First and second. Come on, Louis Plummer, I need you here. 1 run scores. At least it's a tie ball game. We just got to be smart here. Ray Santiago brings in another. And, okay, our boy Danny loads the bases for Bryan Reynolds. And unfortunately, nothing happened there. We're going to bring in our closer of the year, our reliever of the year. Gets us out of it. And we're going to be taking on the Athletics. Okay, the Athletics. So, Syndergaard's supposed to start. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. We're going to go like that. And hopefully, things go well. So, here we go. Athletics and... okay. World Series. Perfect. We're taking on the Padres. Joey Lucchese's former team. And we'll go like this, maybe? Even though everyone's pitching really well. But let's go like that. Nope, don't want to play it just yet. Let's hop into it. Let's see what we can do. Game 1, we take a 2-1 loss. That's a tough loss. We get back the second game, though. That's good. We win that one. We lose that. We win that. So we're 1 game away from the World Series. Let's play this one. Let's see what we can do. See if we can get the win. That'd be a great way to do this. And we're going to go with... let's go Lucchese versus former team and see how we can do against Chris Paddock. Hopefully we can get to him early and often. Like, that's what I say often, but we need to. So what? Oscar Mercado, Cesar Hernandez, was that who it was? That's a good team. That is a good team for sure. And we definitely are gonna have to score some runs early. Geraldo Murillo, great Great hitter right there. Gets the run in. Then Kevin Biggio. Oh, no. Moreno does the job. Small ball does the sac fly. And we have a 2-0 lead. Bichette goes deep. Makes it 3-0. And I'm liking the way things are going. So far, so good. 1 run does score there. Okay. But you know what? We're first and second with no outs. We get 1 back. There we go. Perfect. Another run comes in. Does his job. 5-1 game. Love it. So Joey Lucchese is still pitching really well. As I say that, he's in a little bit of a jam. Gets out of it though. And Paddock's day is done as we continue to kind of do our job here. I'm going to give 1 more for Lucchese. Give me 1 more out. Come on. There it is. 6 for Lucchese. 2 runs. Perfect. Love to see that in a, kind of like the World Series winning game, right? So here we are. Ooh, 2 outs for Moreno. Can he get a hit? He doesn't. We're going to take out Lucchese. And he's going to face a couple righties. Let's go Moya. And Moya gets out of it. All right, cool. And then we're going to pinch hit here. We're going to go to Carlos Santana. Grounds out. No big deal. 1 run scores thanks to Bichette. We have a 5-run lead. And we are in the 8th. Let's go Craig, the Orioles guy we got. See how he does. Okay, perfect. Ray Santiago, single. Murillo flies out. Biggio gets out. And Moreno gets on. Pinch hit. Let's go to... Who's on the mound? All right, we'll go Luis Garcia. All right, and pitching change. Let's go into it. We're bringing in our guy, Daniel Santana. Let's see what he can do here. Walks the first. Strikes out the second. Fielder's choice. And let's enter the game for the last batter just because. All right, guy on first. Things are going pretty well. Ooh, that's a nice looking strike to start it off. First time using Daniel Santana. Let's see how it goes. We're 1 way away from a World Series, or 1 out. 1 out away from a World Series. And Matt Olson, he's a Gold Glover. He's not gonna make that play. He's not gonna help out his pitcher. Now we got 1 home run makes it a 2-run game. Gets a little interesting. Cesar Hernandez is up. We got quite a bit of speed here, and that's at least going to score 1. Let's come up throwing, and things are getting a little interesting now. 7-3, still 2 outs. Runners on the corners. Uh-oh, we might need to get another guy warmed up soon. All right, Tatis Jr. definitely a scary bat to have up right now, right? Things are looking interesting. Here we go. 2-0 to Tatis. Gotta throw a strike here. Can't afford to load the bases, and we do. Ooh, yikes. Meadows. Home run ties the game, right? That would be terrible. That would be the worst possible scenario. So we're 1-1. Can we get out of it? Hangs the changeup. Dangerous pitch. But we have a 1-2 count. We're going to go to a curve in the dirt. Keep it in front of you. Ooh, just couldn't get him. Here we go. Low and outside fastball. Just misses the zone. We're going to go up and in with the fastball this time. Hits the spot. Strikes him out. That is the World Series for the Toronto Blue Jays. And we're back to a title. It only took 2 seasons. And you know what? I feel like that's a good little revisit, just to get the team back on track. See how things go. And it may not be a full rebuild where we do like 3 or 4 seasons, but just do a little revisit, see how things are going, see what the teams look like. And if you guys want to see longer year or longer revisits where we do 3 or 4 seasons, make sure you hit the like button down below. That's going to really be the easiest way for me to know if you want to see like longer revisits and if you guys want to see some more of them. So really make sure you hit that like button. Let's try to hit 1,000 likes on today's revisit, and I'll definitely do more of these with other teams that we've already done in the past, and I'll make sure that they're a little bit longer as well. This is kind of like a pilot for you guys. See if you guys enjoy it, see if you guys want to see some more of it. So again, if you want to see some more of it, make sure you hit the like button down below, and also in the comment section let me know that you want to see some more of them and you want them to be longer. So there we go. Let's go see who the MVPs are. Alright, so before we see the MVPs, let's take a look at how everybody did. Manoa got a little bit roughed up, but when you look at the rest of the staff, like Woodruff did very well. You look at Pearson did well, Lucchese did well. Yikes. And then the bullpen, besides Moya and Rogers, very, very good. Gotta love it. And then when you look at our offensive stats, Matt Olson still brought in 11 RBIs throughout the postseason. Biggio a little quiet. Same with Plummer. Murillo, though, what a pickup for us. And really, the young guys really came through. You know, Bichette, Vlad, Biggio for the most part. We saw Plummer, Murillo, Santiago. These two talk about some good young guys in the lineup. When we look at the awards, Vlad was the playoff MVP and Ray Santiago was the World Series MVP. And to think this was a guy that we drafted in the very first season, I think it was the very first season of this rebuild, for the original rebuild, and now he's looking like he's most likely going to be just an absolute star. Yeah, the average is low, but that on-base percentage is really high, so you got to love to see it. So there we go. That's where we're going to end this revisit. Again, guys, you want to see some more of these, you want them to be longer, make sure you hit that like button. That's the easiest way for me to know. And in the comment section, let me know which team you want to see next, but also let me know that you guys want to see a little bit longer versions of these. Like I mentioned, this is kind of just like a little pilot, see if you guys like them and you guys want to see some more of them. So that's it, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. Thumbs up if you did. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and enjoy the content. And as always, get in the comment section like I've mentioned. If you haven't missed, or if you've missed any of these 2 videos that I'm putting on screen, go and give them a watch. And that's about it, guys. All social media links are down in the description. And I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace.